to shed more light on the issue, we are very much delighted to be joined over the phone by Ambassador Medhat Meleegy, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Ambassador Meleegy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir. Sir, Israel kept targeting the Palestinians even during the truce talks. How do you see...
Unfortunately, I don't hear you well.
Yes. Israel is keeping targeting the Palestinians in spite of the ceasefire agreement. What's your take on that, Mr. Ambassador?
Well, I couldn't hear the question. You said Israeli spokesperson said what?
They are targeting still the Palestinians in spite of the truce agreement.
Well, unfortunately, I don't hear you.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I do hear you, but there is a lot of extra sounds.
Yes.
Echo.
I'll try to say it slowly so you can hear me properly. Israel kept targeting the Palestinians even during the truce talks. How do you see the situation, sir?
Well, the situation so far is very blurry, actually, because we have mixed messages, whether from the Israeli government, who is sending envoys to talk about, to negotiate with Hamas through Egyptian and Qatari mediators, and at the same time we hear different declarations from Israeli officials regarding the current situation and whether we can move to phase 2 or not. Actually, according to what we see and according to the latest reports, Israel is aiming at extending phase 1 of the agreement, which shows that Israel does not want to commit to stop all hostilities and withdraw from all the points in Gaza as stipulated in the original agreement.
Yes.
And the reason why it wants to extend the first phase is that this will enable it to get its hostages and even giving back some of the Palestinian detainees and prisoners in Israeli sanctions. However, I think that the only thing that will possibly move the situation is to have a strong American support to the Egyptian initiative, which is now the Arab initiative, and to press Israel to comply with it and with the terms that it's stipulated, especially that this plan drafted by Egypt has been accepted worldwide as the best and the most reasonable plan to reach a peaceful solution to the current conflict.
Yes. Mr. Ambassador, the Palestinian resistance group Hamas announced that it would release American-Israeli double nationality captives in order to keep the truce talks going. How do you assess the tactics by Hamas in this regard?
Well, as I just mentioned, I think that the most of the play cards are in the hands of the United States, and I believe that Hamas wants to reach any kind of agreement with the Americans. This will open a new channel, not to leave them only in the hands of Israelis, who their sole aim is to make life for them impossible, so that they would, as we said, between brackets, voluntarily leave the Gaza band. So if we can reach an agreement, I mean Hamas, if they can reach an agreement with the United States, that would help actually in further advance the position of the Israeli by American pressure. But I mean, well, after what we've seen with the envoy of Mr. Trump, Mr. Ball, I think that what is quite clear is that Israel will not give the time of the day to any envoy who will side in any way with the Palestinian reasoning. It's either the Israeli way and the Israeli conditions, or nothing else. And this is the real problem that we are facing right now, is that Israel wants only its condition to be applied and no terms from anyone else, as we've seen from the last documents that were that leaked actually out of the two parties, that Hamas accepted most of it, while Israel put very difficult conditions for any group to meet.
Yes. Mr. Ambassador, how do you see the Egyptian brokering and mediation efforts so far regarding the crisis in Gaza?
Well, Egypt is deploying its diplomatic efforts to try to convince Israel that it's not even in its own interest to continue this line of aggression and try to comply with the peace plan, or even the previous one that is known as the three-phase plan to cease fire. Unfortunately, Israel, as I said, is giving multiple contradictory reactions. Sometimes it sends a delegation to negotiate, but without any power to sign an agreement, or even it withdraw from the agreements it has signed before, or even it wants to jump on the current step by avoiding it and try to speak about only one thing, which is the detainees. Unfortunately, I think that even with the worst thing that we've seen so far, I think it's going to be even worse once Israel will recuperate the last one of its hostages and the last body of any dead Israelis who died due to Israeli aggression. I think that this is when we are going to see the real face of Israel regarding this crisis. Israel has made it clear that it wants to make life for the Palestinian impossible. Unfortunately, the United States, with the same controversy, is helping it. We recently heard, although Mr. Trump said that he will not force anyone to leave, but I think that we heard also reports that he wants to, or he is trying to reach a deal with Somalia or Somaliland or even Sudan to host the Palestinian, which looks like he still abides by his own theory that he can move 2 million Palestinians against their will into another land, whether it's going to be in a voluntary way or it's going to be forcibly done. And this controversial message actually is not helping any diplomacy, even the Egyptian one that has been very close to the situation and monitoring it from the beginning. It does not help us. I mean, which position exactly should we consider coming from the United States? Is it the one that we are not going to force anyone to leave its territory, or is it the one that stipulates still that the best solution is to remove all the Palestinians? Let's not forget one last index, which is a very important one, which is the last G7 summit declaration, that for the first time they are using a different literature than the one that was previously used. I mean, there is no mentioning of the two-state solution. There is no mentioning of the Israeli Palestinian prisoners, only the Israeli hostages. Not just that. The only thing that is mentioned regarding a possible future is that, as stipulated in the declaration itself, it says political horizon for the Palestinians, which is a very vague terminology that shows that the West in general is not on board. And I think that the reason behind this is that even Europe, which had a different position originally from the United States, had to accept the American terms simply because it still wants to negotiate a better deal for the withdrawal from Ukraine and to end the Russian-Ukrainian war. And because of this, it has accepted to sell out the Palestinian in order to reach a better agreement regarding the Russian-Ukrainian war.
Indeed. Ambassador Medhat Meleegy, former Assistant Foreign Minister, thank you so much for your precious input. Always a pleasure. And our dear viewers will go to a short break, and after that we'll be back to resume our program, so stay tuned.